It looks like there's been a car crash and the green car has crashed into the red car. So unfortunately, there has been a big crash. The two cars have crashed together. But unfortunately, the two men were not able to handle the situation in a calm, collected way. Instead, we have a road rage situation here. So there is a road rage. Both men are showing road rage. They are arguing, they are shouting, and both of them really are flipping out. They are both absolutely flipping out about this car crash, and they are both blaming each other. Yeah, so they are not staying calm and collected like they should. If you have a car crash, you should stay calm and collected. But instead, they're absolutely flipping out, and they're not staying in control of their emotions. And now the road rage carries on, and now they're having a fist fight. So this is a fist fight happening here, and the man in the yellow t-shirt punches the man in the red t-shirt. They get into an argument, they get into a big fist fight, and now both men really have lost their cool now. They have both absolutely lost their cool. They are not staying calm and collected like you should in a situation like this. Instead, they are both flipping out and they've both lost their cool, and they're not thinking clearly anymore. And that's the problem. Now, unfortunately, the man in the red t-shirt actually had decided to bring a gun with him on that day. So before he left the house that day, he had decided to bring along a pistol or a gun. This is very dangerous. Of course, if he had not decided to bring a gun with him on that day, he probably just would have punched back. He probably would have continued the fist fight. But because he had decided to bring a gun that day, he actually pulls out his gun and points it at the man in the yellow t-shirt, and actually he shoots and kills the man in the yellow t-shirt because he's lost his cool. He is not staying calm and collected, so he's completely lost his cool, and he actually shoots this man. And so now we have a very, very sad situation. First of all, the man in the yellow t-shirt, he has been killed. He is dead. And so this is his funeral. It is the funeral of the man, and the mother and the child are absolutely devastated by this. They are devastated that the dad, the father, has been killed of this family. On the other hand, the man in the red t-shirt, the man who shot him, well, he's in jail now. He's in prison. He's probably going to get a life sentence. He's going to be in prison for the rest of his life now. Not a very good outcome for both people, right? A very terrible outcome for both people. But imagine what would have happened if this man had not brought a gun with him on that day. What would have happened differently? How would the outcome have been different, right? If the man had decided not to bring a gun with him on that day. Well, if he hadn't brought a gun on that day, the two men would have just had a fist fight, and that's it. They would have both gone home, and they would have both complained to their wives and to their children. They would have told them about the other man and how they had their car crash, and they would have been fine, right? You know, they would have been fine if this man had not brought a gun with him on that day. Both people would have had a few bruises on their face, but at the end of the day, they would have both been alive by the end of this, right? This man wouldn't have been killed, and this man wouldn't have ended up in prison after this if he hadn't decided to bring a gun. And, you know, had he left his gun at home, everything would have turned out better. Everything would have turned out much better. Everything would have turned out fine had he left his gun at home instead of bringing it with him on that day. Had he left his gun at home on that day, this man wouldn't have been killed. The family, wouldn't have had to go. They wouldn't have had to go to his funeral because of this. They could have carried on living their lives as a happy family. But that, had he left his gun at home, he would have been a free man now. He would be a free man right now if he had left his gun at home. He wouldn't have gone to jail. He wouldn't have ended up in jail if he had just left his pistol at home, if he had left his gun at home. Basically, at the end of the day, had he not brought the gun with him on that day, everyone's lives would have been better. It would have been a better outcome for everyone if he had left his gun at home instead of bringing it with him on that day. Thank you for watching the video. I will see you in the next one.